For these two examples, we're going to be factoring by difference of cubes. So you'll notice in the expanded form in purple here, for both of these examples, there's two terms only, and they have a minus sign in between them because difference means subtraction. And both terms are cubes, which means you could take the cube root of each of the terms, the first and the second term, and you will get a whole number as your answer. So if you're trying to factor this, you'll notice that there's double parentheses. In the first parenthesis, there'll be two terms. In the second parenthesis, there'll be three terms. And the signs follow the same SOP. So the first sign here is the same as the original, so it's a minus sign. Then the next sign is the opposite of the original, so the opposite of a minus would be a plus sign. And then the final sign here is positive. All right, so notice for filling in your factored form also there's a and b. So how do you get a? You're going to take the cube root of the first term, and that gives you a. How do you get b? You take the cube root of the second term, and that gives you b. So let's take a look at number one. So again, two terms, minus sign, and I can take the cube root of both terms. So I'm going to set up my double parentheses. Two terms will go in the first parenthesis, three terms in the second. Setting up the signs, it follows the same sign as the original, so a minus sign, then the opposite sign, so that would be a plus sign, and lastly positive. Now I need to find a and b. So to get a, I take the cube root of this first term. So what even number can I multiply by itself 3 times to get 8? That's 2, and the cube root of x to the third is just x. So there's my a. My b value is the cube root of 125, so what odd number can I multiply by itself 3 times and get 125, and that would be 5. All right, so now that I have my a and my b, I could fill in my factored form. So if I look, a should go first and then b, so I'm going to plug in 2x and then a 5. In my next spot here, I need to take a and square that. So a squared is 2x times itself, 2x, which is 4x squared. My middle term is a times b. So if I take a and multiply that by b, that would be 2x times 5, which is 10x. And my last term here is b squared. So b squared is 5 times 5, which is 25. So this is my factored form. So for the last one here, again, I notice that there's two terms, a minus sign in between them, and I could take the cube root of each term. So the factored form, I have double parentheses. First parenthesis will have two terms, the second will have three. The signs follow the pattern. Same sign as the original, opposite sign as the original, and then positive. How do I get a? Take the cube root of the first term. So what odd number can I multiply by itself 3 times and get 27? That would be a 3. And then the cube root of x to the third is just x. Then I take the cube root of the second term to get b. So the cube root of 1 is just 1. So let's fill in our factored form now. So again, what goes in the first parenthesis, you're going to plug in your a and your b. So a is 3x and b is 1. In the second parenthesis, the first term is a squared. So if I take a and square that, that would be 3x times 3x, which is 9x squared. The middle term should be a times b. So a times b is 3x times 1, which is just 3x. And then this last term here is b squared. So b squared is 1 times 1, which is just 1. So this is my final factored form.